Welcome to Games and Gimmicks, the podcast discussing video games, professional wrestling, and everything in between. I'm the Poor Ass Gamer alongside E. Huffy.
Greetings and salutations.
And this is going to be an interesting episode because right now we're also doing a little video thing, which you'll also see on gamesandgimmicks.com. So please check that out a little bit later. But for this edition of the podcast, we're going to be talking about Nintendo Direct. Specifically,
Nintendo Direct. I had no idea what the hell that was until you jokers started talking about it. So it was news to me.
Face of Foley bring it up to you? Did he talk to you about it a little bit? Maybe. I feel like it's something.
Yeah, we had talked about one of the game options that was announced on that.
Yeah,
announced on that announcement.
It was they got rid of the whole. They got rid of the whole doing like E3 and stuff somewhere back in the 2000s. I don't remember. It might have been like 2006 or 8 or something like that. And now you see like Sony doesn't want any part in doing E3 this year. So they do the whole now let's go direct to YouTube live and
yes, please.
It's better because like I guess, for one they control all of the big events and all the, momentum behind stuff. And they get like a 4-month break before they have to do it again. So they do kind of things in quarters, and it's like a 30-minute video, and here's all the games, and here's all the things you can expect. So I digged this one. I really enjoyed it more than the last one.
And you can see all of his comments on our YouTube page as the Poor Ass Gamer watches Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
Let's get rid of E3 altogether.
Yeah, I think
let's just get rid of the damn thing. It's just a bunch of show. Yeah. It's all a bunch of trailer show, no actual legitimate gameplay stuff. And when they do, it's never the finished product. And it's boring. It's long. It's boring. And the people that are there look like they're bored out of their minds.
Most of the journalists, I think, from what I've seen of people over the last few years, have just been like. I mean, it was nice that it was open to the public, I think, in the last couple of years, and that's kind of cool. And for it being a video games trade show, something's going to always exist for that.
Right.
There's I've always wanted to go to a PAX. Have you ever heard of those? I've always wanted to go to one of those. E3 and its relevance and how stories break so quickly, leaks and stuff, and we find out about stuff usually weeks in advance. Some of those things that were in this direct were actually things that people picked. Or I don't know if they had that insider information, but it was some people got a lot of those things right. Excuse me, but I particularly, I guess I'll kick it off to you. What did you really like? I guess most of all out of all the things you didn't watch all. Did you watch all of it? You kind of picked it.
I picked up the pieces and then kind of chimed in when you guys were all talking about it.
Yeah.
But really the biggest news item for me and the biggest takeaway was the remastering of Link's Awakening. And that game is near and dear to my heart, and I got a funny story with it because I've never beat it, but I was finally on my way to. So Link's Awakening, that was the first Game Boy game I ever got. When I got the original Game Boy, it came in a combo pack with Link's Awakening.
Sure.
But at the time, when you're 7 years old, you don't know how to play a Zelda game. So you ran around, you swashed the bushes, killed some guys. That's as far as I got. Yeah. So I never got far in that game.
I think it was just at that age, we just weren't really reading the content in the games. We were just kind of playing it. So
can't figure that out.
Yeah, and so nuance of telling you something to do. I think I remember that too, of playing games just like that and being like, wow, this is cool. I remember playing it, but I didn't beat any of it because I didn't understand it.
Didn't get anywhere. So it was a game that always just kind of hung out in my collection that unfortunately sold all my Game Boy stuff. So I'm on the mission to get the original cartridge back.
Cool.
Long story short, let's get all the way to the present day. Got a 2DS XL, and I ended up getting Link's Awakening on the Virtual Console, the DX version, the Game Boy Color. Nice. It was $4.99 or something like that, super cheap. I said, okay, I've always wanted to play through it. Let's actually do it this time. I got 70% through this game, more or less. I was about 70% through. And then I turned it on one day, and the DS came with a message that said, save data corrupt. You're going to lose everything, which I've never seen on a DS before. And I go, no, surely it cannot. And I started the game, and I lost it all.
So it was just a new file at that point.
And at that point, I'm like, oh my God, I did all that work. And I was like, and I've never beaten it. I don't want to start over. And then they made this announcement about the remaster, which looks incredible. I was kind of hoping they'd actually make a port with it for the 3DS too. But I thought that'd be kind of cool.
Sure.
But it looks incredible. And to me, it's like the same game, but it's a new game for me. So this might actually be the one that's gonna send me to the store to get a Switch.
Yeah, all right.
Because of this remaster. This is the one. This is probably the one.
I was watching it, and at first I think I didn't understand what I was seeing. And then it was weird because I saw the moment of. I knew it was Link, and I was like, oh, okay. So then I started getting really excited about that. And then I saw the volcano with the dinosaur egg on the top, and I was like, why is that so memorable? Like, why do I remember that? And I must have played this game at some point, maybe vicariously through you or somehow. But then I decided, okay, let's just play a little bit of it. I'll continue playing it on the Twitch channel at some point just to get through it and kind of see. But yeah, I was kind of blown away too by the style. It looked like little tiny plastic toys.
Yeah.
Like almost like little pieces on a Monopoly board or something like that. It looked sort of like that, and I enjoy that every time Nintendo decides to either remaster something or put something new out, or especially with Zelda. Zelda has a unfortunate. It has the unfortunate capability of getting stale really quick because a lot of it is the same. And really, when we break this game down, it's that Super Nintendo game.
Pretty much.
Was that Link to the Past? Link to
yeah.
the Past. And it is. When I started playing it, I was like, it pretty much is that, but it's sort of like simplified for the Game Boy.
Yeah.
And the DX version is beautiful. Like the color and all that is really cool. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I got really, really excited personally about the Tetris 99 announcement that came out. There's just always, I'm never not going to be excited about, there's a brand new game and it's free and it's also something that you want to play. Like that, those are three things you need every time. But I've been on a big Tetris run, as you can see on YouTube as well.
And I really appreciate the group text that was sent out to myself and two other individuals, the two other individuals and yourself who have a Switch.
Yeah.
And including me in that message saying,
know.
hey, Ben and Matt, you guys go get this game so we can all play it. Eric, go fuck yourself. Pretty much, that's what that felt like.
It's a group message.
Thanks.
I'm not going to kick you out of the group.
That I couldn't participate in. You should have kicked me out. I would have loved that more.
Eric, you have to rejoin after this one text we couldn't send to you.
Yes, we did.
But also, by the way, we can't tell you what we just said.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, it's probably something Switch related because I don't have a Switch.
No, I think it's hard to make the case to people with the Switch all the time because if you're not on a Nintendo binge right now, like if you're gonna sort of avoid playing all those Nintendo games, which to me it's been a long time. I think for you it's been a long time too. I made the argument because I was like, well, if I do travel, this is something I'd rather take than taking the 3DS. Because I just didn't have enough games on that thing. And eventually I built up enough, downloadable content plus the stuff that I carry in the little cartridges and the container. And it's good, but does it get as much usage as the PS4, my PC, even sometimes my PS3? Not necessarily. Yeah, and that's the hard part. Yeah.
Exactly. You just said, it probably doesn't get as much playtime as the PS3. It just kind of makes you think
compared to me, well, okay, so I would say it probably gets a little bit more than the PS3, at least right now, because, again, there's content like Tetris 99 that I want to play. But it's a lot of stuff that people have been playing on the PC for a while, so that could be good in the long run because, by the time you get one, I think there's going to be enough of that content out there. So that Zelda game, that's probably not. I think did they say? No, that was another announcement, but they didn't give a date on that, so we don't know exactly when that's coming out. The other big thing, since you didn't watch all of it there too, was the biggest announcement was the one right at the beginning, Super Mario Maker 2.
Oh yeah, yep, I heard about that.
And a lot of I think Face of Foley might have had that game.
Yeah,
and he played it with his kids.
I think did that come out on Wii U?
It did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got it on that.
I'd love to talk to him about that sometime because there's a lot of things that they talk about, like quality of life changes that they needed to put in this newest version. Like they showed in the beginning, like just making slopes. Like that's simple enough. You couldn't do that with the Wii U at the time. I think a big thing would be so that you don't have to play through all of the game to get all that stuff, so that you can, because I think you had to do that with the first game. And you know, I think the key to it is making it easy for people to share all those levels and ultimately adding more content. Like they didn't even have that sun, you know, the sun and that dips down in Super Mario 3.
Yeah,
they didn't have that. Yeah, and that's it. This is what would be perfect, so that we can make levels for each other that are fucking horrible, like horrible for each other, and then we can watch each other, like just like the Hitman contracts, play through them and see just how bad it gets. So
the funny thing is, I have seen a little bit of the first Mario Maker. I haven't played it too much, but I can already tell this is a game that I love Mario, but this does not appeal to me in any way, shape, or form.
Because it's stuff that you have to build.
Yes, because I get burnt out really quickly on creating things. So in wrestling games, making your own wrestler, I loved it, but by the time I was done with somebody, the last thing I wanted to do was play the game.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a recommendation, though, too, on top of this. Game that's going to be coming out. This is not Nintendo Direct or anything, but just something that I'm thinking, because you don't like creation type games, but maybe you like enjoying that content. That's also the perk of these games, is that even if you're not the type of person that wants to go and like, I want to draw out all this crap and everything there too, or make a really difficult level for my friends, you can still enjoy the fruits of what somebody else put 72 hours into there too.
So when they finally came out with the community creations on said wrestling games, that was a game changer. Because now I'm like, thank God, some other nerds wasting their life making all this stuff. I'm just gonna grab it.
They're uploading all the pictures and everything.
It's already set. So I would absolutely love going into this game and trying out all the outrageous levels that people have made.
I would suggest look up this game. It's coming out soon. This is the thing that I was thinking, because it's a creation type game. Dreams, you might have heard about this, seen it weirdly in some press conference things that Sony was doing, but I saw a quick look of that, and it is basically like you can make any type of game possible in that system, and people are likely going to do that. So there's going to be a lot of, like, I like those creation games where you don't necessarily have to play on that side of stuff, and I'm hoping that with this new one that they're going to, with the new Super Mario 2 Maker, excuse me, as I said that name completely wrong, I'm hoping they just make it more like, if you want to create, go and create. If you want to just play all these things, go and play all these things.
And every time I go into a video game store, I always see the 3DS version of Mario Maker. Yeah. But I've heard
it's not as good.
I've heard that like a lot of features were cut from it or whatever. So I never really jumped in. I thought, well, that's kind of a perfect place to do it. You got the whole touch screen and everything. That kind of makes sense. But I don't think I'm going to jump into that too much.
They did announce a new Fire Emblem, the three houses, and you were playing Awakening, and maybe that might be something you would also play.
I'm still
too.
playing Awakening. It was my very first Fire Emblem game I've ever played, so I know that I'm the newest of noobs in that world.
Sure.
But that's it. I knew there was one. I was like, there was one more game they mentioned. A Fire Emblem game on Switch is absolutely something that I would get that system for. I've had a ball. I'm really becoming a fan of JRPGs now.
Yeah.
I was really not a fan of RPGs back in the heyday in my immature life.
I think that's all it was. Like, we were just too young to really enjoy that kind of content. So.
And I was too stupid. Let's be honest. I was too damn.
We played a lot of wrestling games.
Eric, why don't you play Final Fantasy VIII? I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I can't. I was like, I can't do it. My brain.
Is there a Stone Cold Stunner in Final Fantasy VIII? If there isn't,
yeah, I don't want to play it. I don't
flick the stick.
Not enough RAM up here. I can't deal with those kind of games. Now I can. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really excited about Fire Emblem. I've been enjoying the heck out of Awakening, and that's just talking with coworkers. That's just tip of the iceberg with these games.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'd love to try something, especially on a current gen system as opposed to a handheld. Granted, it is a handheld being switched, but I'd love to play a Fire Emblem game hooked up to a television. That'd be awesome.
Most of the time when I really want to enjoy the Switch, it's gonna be docked. It's gonna be with the Pro controller. I'm probably not gonna be playing games with Joy-Cons and stuff. But Tetris 99 was one that did make me want to play in handheld because you just have a little bit better strategy.
Is handheld. That's like, you know what I mean? That was like born
and
for handheld.
And it feels actually good with. It's very odd because there's very few instances with the directional pad thing that they have on the Joy-Con that it feels good because it's not really a D-pad. It's just 4 buttons. But it does work with Tetris pretty well. I think there's some advantages, but if I were honestly gonna recommend to you, I would say, even though that Awakening game got announced, even though that's probably around the corner, Mario Maker's in June. I would still wait. If you can wait until 2020, you're gonna know for sure.
Yeah, which is possible. Which is entirely possible.
Because there's gonna be they didn't talk about a refresh, but obviously the Wall Street Journal and some other publications got some indication from Nintendo that they're planning on doing that.
You're this far into the life cycle, we're at that point where something's going to happen, and when that happens, new bundles for new players. And to be honest, what's also going to factor into this decision, not to kind of deviate from Nintendo too much, but there's been a lot of back and forth on whether or not the next PlayStation's going to have any sort of backwards compatibility. And I had mentioned this to you and on episodes in the past that right there, the decision that they make is going to be my decision on whether or not I continue with PlayStation.
So I have a scoop for you.
Scoop.
Because Joey's a scoop.
You're a scooper. You're a scoop-a-duper.
I always don't. I don't. Maybe I don't necessarily always inform you about.
Where's my block button? Where's my? I block scoopers. I hide scoopers.
Well, this is a scoop I heard because it came from a legitimate.
So it's a second-hand scoop.
Yeah,
from another scoop.
Yeah, second of the scoop of the
so
poop.
It's a melted scoop.
It's a kitty litter covered poop.
Gross.
Coming out of there, ready for you.
All
Real
right,
nice and hot for you.
Let's hear this horse
Let's
shit.
get this hot kitty poop in your face. It is actually that there was a patent filed recently by, I don't know, some big person. Oh, your phone is loud.
Just my mom. Don't worry
about it. So it was a patent claiming that there's some sort of new form of emulation for they said just a new way of emulating these games. So when they make a
what
big
are pronouns, pal, these games.
Okay, Sony made a patent for emulation.
Okay.
All right, which is a big deal apparently in Japan, because apparently in Japan it's a big deal to say that, because normally there's a lot of the capable hardware, the retro stuff. People want to play old games, they can play old games. But the reason why it's a big deal is because they have to go through that to potentially get things like backwards compatible PS3 games, which is going to be a big deal. I think that's what the actual patent was for, because we've heard many times in the past from developers and stuff that have said PS3 was notoriously hard to work on and they didn't like it, and that's why it kind of failed compared to the Xbox 360 that generation.
Right.
Now PS4 is better, but they could potentially be filling that gap of the PS3 emulation. They already have PS2 and PS1 emulation, as we've seen with all the stuff that they've come out with PlayStation Now. So I gotta hope that it's a big move that they're saying, like, okay, yes, we're going to do that. Because they obviously knew how big of a messaging thing it was about sharing games and the stuff Xbox fell into, too. So I got to hope that means we're going to get those PS3 games emulated, or you can pop your disc
but here's
into
the thing. I don't give a shit if that thing can emulate PS3, PS2, PS1.
Well, yeah, like you don't want to pay for it.
No, not even that. If this next PlayStation 5 can't play PlayStation 4.
Oh no, they'll never.
That's
do that.
what. That's what I'm saying,
because
because I've made that switch to the digital gaming for PlayStation 4 because let's be honest, fuck GameStop. and I've built up this amazing library. If I can't play Red Dead 2
It's an interesting
on my
question.
PlayStation 5,
Yeah.
but you can play PlayStation 3, I'm out.
Well, okay,
I'm
so
done.
yes, I would understand
I'd
that,
be
but
done.
like, I guess there would have to be something so dramatic with how they're changing the PlayStation Network. Like, it would have to be so dramatically different than what they have right now that they would have to be like. And here's the thing. It's not unlikely because, look, we saw Nintendo do the same fucking thing with the Wii U. They left all of those people, like, you left all those purchases there. Sorry, then none of that stuff carries over. Here's a new universe of things that you can do.
Yeah.
They got away with doing that because it's a different type of console, technically. But yeah, it's a good point because, like, if they do change something dramatically, is that going to mean that digital purchases don't go over? I gotta hope that as long as you don't change things, like they made a big deal about how long it took them to make PlayStation Network ID changes and stuff like that, and that makes sense because like you did make certain purchases under a name, so then to retroactively go back and find every single purchase you made, as well as millions of other people that did that, and reconnect it to a new username, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to do. So I can understand why they avoided that. But yeah, they would totally lose all credibility, just like Xbox did in one day, with making some stupid statement saying that like PS4 was not. We're not gonna play PlayStation 4, and none of your fucking shit comes over. Like,
I know
people would give up on them immediately
because they've been there's been such a big push towards obviously you got the PlayStation Plus, you got the PlayStation Network, do all your stuff there. I mean. But the way I see them getting around that is the whole bullshit with PlayStation Now.
And we emulated all your games.
Yeah,
and here they are.
They're there. You just have to pay $79 a year for a subscription to stream them inside. That I'm hoping
that they'll maybe
that's not
make
the
more
case.
tiers. That they'll do a fucking PlayStation Plus, which gets you all the free games, and then PlayStation Plus or some dumb fucking thing where you have to where you have to then you have access to your old PS4 library. Like, I could see them doing that because they upped it up to from 50 to 60 to 65 or something like it is now.
Stupid. So,
so
that's what I'm kind of waiting around for, is not only for the update in Switch, but also what the heck is going to be next for PlayStation.
Yeah, and we only have less. I mean, really, we only have this year, and and by the end of this year, they should be making some sort of announcement, all of them, as to what they're doing. So, it's going to be an exciting year for announcements, and I'm glad that Nintendo is sort of setting a trend of like, here's all our stuff at once for the next couple months, and then we'll come back in another couple months and give you some more stuff to look forward to. So, so yeah, Nintendo Direct was really cool. I think we both found some good stuff to enjoy out of that. Definitely recommend looking at that, or watch the me talking over it video, which is on YouTube, or on Games and Gimmicks.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, what have you been playing, man?
Well, what have I been playing? As a brand new father, I've had a little bit of downtime
It's very
on,
true.
on my leave.
This is like the first time we've really announced it on the podcast. You have a baby. Yeah.
Yep, stork delivered.
Yep.
So, had a little bit of time to get some extra gaming in, because newborns just sleep.
It's just put them on you.
They're kind of boring, like,
or in the bassinet.
Yeah, they just hang out. So, which is fine. So I was someone had recommended me playing Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga on the 3DS, which was a remaster or remake or whatever of the Game Boy Advance game. Simplistic RPG, and they say, I hear nothing but good things about it. So I said, okay, let's try it. I'm knee deep. It's okay.
Yeah.
The combat is quite obnoxious and frustrating. Like, they want you to time.
It's timing based. Yeah.
And the timing's off. It is not right.
I always hated those things because you get the little, it's the extra damage bonus or whatever. It's like Final Fantasy VII or some shit, like hit the trigger.
Yeah, because I was trying to find a game that was, because Stick of Truth was kind of made as an homage to other RPGs that have come before. So I want something that's kind of in the style of South Park, and that one always kind of came up. And so it's been okay. Hasn't been my favorite. I'm gonna finish it.
Sure.
From it's good to play on lunch breaks when I go back to work and whatnot. But yeah, so I've been getting through that recently. And then also with playing that, I was like, I was trying to do some cleanup trophy work on Stick of Truth.
Yeah.
So I kind of been getting back into that and redoing some missions and replaying some levels to catch up on some of those trophies. Some are ridiculous and are absolutely never going to happen, but it's fun to do.
Did
sometimes.
you like that more than the previous game? Of the South Park games?
Oh, Stick of Truth's the first one. That's what I've been going back and playing through. The fractured butthole, I do have to go back and do that again too. Yeah. Now, this is what's unfortunate. Usually, there's a big PlayStation Plus sale right now, and the fractured butthole is like $14.
Wow,
really cheap. And I think the deluxe edition is either 14 or 20 or something or other. Usually when a game's on sale, the season passes and the DLC's usually on sale too. None of that is, which kind of pisses me off because there's extra levels and content that I want to play, but it's not on sale. To go back to your question, I absolutely enjoyed Fractured Butthole. I think I
didn't have.
I
like bugs,
the
though,
I
right?
like the Stick of Truth more.
Yeah.
Fractured Butthole was good. They made good advancements on the combat.
Sure.
And plus with it being superhero based was really, really funny. It was ragging on the superhero genre as well, but also really ragging on DC specifically on some stuff, which was just kind of stupid. But it was funny.
They get all the criticism as it is, so
right.
It's fine.
So, but no, I mean, it was funny as hell.
Sure.
I mean, absolutely entertaining, and it was a little more difficult at the time. So that's definitely one I would play through again. And this is I'm doing the cleanup on the Stick of Truth, and that would probably count as the third time I've been playing this game. It has kind of become one of those games that I definitely go back
cycle
to
back through
on
and play.
Occasion. Yeah.
I forgot how funny that. Yeah, it felt like a very extended episode of a South Park episode, and they did a good job at keeping it with that feel of everything South Park, but also making it a fun game too as well. Like I had some qualms about that game because I ran into a lot of bugs in the beginning, but I think a lot of the new additions that they released and everything seemed to be fine, and it sounds like you didn't have any problems even with the second game. So.
I hit the game ending bug on the Stick of Truth when it came out on PS3.
Yeah.
Never got to finish it, and then when they released it on PS4, everything was cleaned up.
I think again that just goes back to PS3, and maybe it's just people wanted to be done with that generation and move on. And
because that came out late in that, it was pretty much done at that point, and then that game came out.
Yeah. As far as stuff that I've been playing, I mean, honestly, like I've been playing a lot of the Tetris stuff. And then, like new stuff, the PlayStation Plus, the thing that I need to get into is the PlayStation Plus things that came out, this month. The For Honor, I've been meaning to get into that. I have been playing a lot of Apex Legends. Which Udacrace has been playing a lot of that too as well. It is just they just did a great job. Another one of those games that just like, hey, here it is. It's free. Go out and download it, play it. And it's a shooter. It's a cooperative shooter. You got to work in squads of 3, and you all get to pick different types of Overwatchy type characters who all either are healers or artillery or there's a wide range with what they've added on there, and there's more characters to come, more maps to come. And it's battle royale, so like basically you work in that team of 3 and you're like, okay, let's go over there, let's go loot all that stuff over there, get some good guns and gear, and just sort of hang out and see, hopefully wait, for somebody kind of to come by, and you're working as a group. And that's what's cool about it, because traditional battle royale, I think the way that they were smart about this release was that they didn't add solo battle royale to this game. You can have it happen to you, and it will probably be a mode later on with future updates. But it is a game that you strictly do play with the 2 other people in your group, and it's really meant to be strategic as well as like a fun shooter. The abilities each character has, really really freaking cool. Some of them have like teleportation capabilities. Some have, he's like a robot and he can put a zip line just about anywhere. There's no fall damage anywhere in the game, so you jump off of big things, you don't get hurt.
I like that.
It's really just like they did a fantastic job. I've heard really great things about Titanfall 2 and the Titanfall games that I never played them just because they didn't really attract me. I think I might have played a beta for it and wasn't sure because it was multiplayer, and that was how they framed that game. But apparently the single player campaign for Titanfall 2 was one of the best shooters that in the last, I don't know, people are saying like 10 years. They're comparing it to Half-Life 2.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people.
Big comparison.
It was made with the Source engine, same stuff, and it just really shows that like they put a lot of hard work into making this something that honestly I'm kind of glad it's taken over the Fortnite train, because eventually that was going to happen. Fortnite's still making content, new seasons and stuff like that too as well, but like this is just a great game. Me and Kevin have played it a few times. He's won it, I think, twice, gotten champion twice. I've gotten second place a couple times.
I don't understand. Where did this Battle Royale craze come from? Was it the Fortnite stuff? I guess. Well, I don't get it.
It was before it. It was something called PUBG.
Okay.
Player Unknown's Battleground.
Okay.
That started on the PC.
Okay.
That was a mod of these games called Arma 2. Arma is like a PC hyper-realistic shooter game that has like some of the largest land masses in games ever made. Like it's just like supposed to be super fucking realistic. Kilometers, you can travel with a character in this game. And some people modded that game and made it the 100 people, basically fighting on a collapsing map, which is the concept of it by itself. Then Fortnite took over that. A lot of other places tried the formula, have failed. And now Respawn, who made the Call of Duty games, basically just came in and really took a lot of the stuff that's already out there, like the Overwatch type characters, the Call of Duty style, like fast-paced stuff that's going on. I imagine they're going to put wall running into this game at some point in certain maps. There's just a lot of cool stuff with it. So it's cool to me because I don't play these games either. And for me to tell you, like, you should probably try playing this game just as randomly, just to get a feel for it, see if you like it, because I don't traditionally like these games. And yeah, you may jump into a game and then you get fucking killed right away because like somebody got to their equipment before you did, but it's not always the case. And traditionally when you play with people that are at least slightly invested, like people who have headphones, they're most likely going to try to walk you through it and be good about it. I haven't really run into a lot of bad people. Traditionally happens when you get a lot of the people from Fortnite and bad players from stuff like that. People are just shitty. They come over to the new game, but in general, I've had a really good time playing it. But honestly, that's the thing I spent the most amount of time playing.
All right.
That and just Tetris.
A lot of Tetris.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tetris World's right here. Look at that.
Yes.
There it is.
Was there anything else that you think you were playing, or anything else you're on?
I think I've been playing,
or anything.
That's what I've been. That's what's
it.
been happening. I think I uploaded another Godzilla clip.
I did see that
from a few days ago. That was a really fun fight that I was in. The game's a grind, and what kind of stinks is I think I'm out on whatever DLC that came out, because since they took it out from the store, you can't get anything else. Like there's a couple modes or things that came with it.
That's the weird thing of digital games right there too as well. You're right, because like on one end, right, it's a question of whether or not we'll get that stuff between generations, but also whether or not one day they just decide to not list that game anymore.
So, I mean, if you've got it on your system and it's installed, you're obviously good to go. It's fine. But then here goes PlayStation 5. Are those people going to be able to play that game if they are backwards compatible?
Maybe they'll
crazy
just
questions.
Do like a link cable thing, like, like old school like Macs and stuff. Just like
plug them all in.
We put FireWire in our PS4 for some reason.
And then it's fine.
Yeah, and then now you can just get all your content. Yeah, that would be...
Yeah.
It's a crazy thought to think like that we could be stranded digitally with none of the stuff that we played before, but I gotta think they wouldn't be that stupid. Like,
Yeah.
Hope for the best.
And I've been dabbling, getting back into Fire Pro Wrestling world a little bit.
I gotta get back onto that.
I went to get some updated characters from, I kind of like to keep up to date with, if wrestlers change or all that kind of stuff. But then you have to be careful, because a lot of these, mods or characters that are out there are made by people specifically for simulating matches, not for you to use.
Interesting. Case
Case in point, I downloaded a current version of Omega and a current version of Okada, and I said, great, let's do a match with these guys. The match went 45 minutes. And what was frustrating is I think I hit about 25 Rainmakers.
Yeah.
And they kept kicking out. Yeah. I kicked out of like 22 One-Winged Angels.
I didn't know that people got so granular with all that stuff.
Yeah,
That's
so
what's
and
so
as
crazy.
I looked in like the details, like I'm like, these aren't meant, because a lot of people get this game to watch the game. I get it.
Yeah.
But you have to be careful if you're a player. So I deleted them and just brought the original ones that came with the game and put those back in. I said, so you have to look for ones that aren't geared towards simming. Look for ones that are realistic, but like, hey, you're not gonna be stuck fighting this guy forever because they kick out of anything that they get hit with. So it's weird.
That might explain why some of the because I think I might have downloaded some of the ones that you recommended there too, and they probably were like that. Because even when I was simulating it and trying to just record and capture stuff for the video podcast, it just those matches went on for like 45 minutes at least. I get a lot of good footage.
As I was trying to beef up some other rosters, I was trying to find some WCW guys. I was like, let's get Diamond Dallas Page in there. So I found the most downloaded Diamond Dallas Page, because usually that's kind of what I go with, whatever's the most downloaded.
Right.
Install it. The character, nonstop, all match, only tries to do the Diamond Cutter. Bell rings, he jumps in the air trying to get the Diamond Cutter. So you're just like,
it's pretty accurate. I mean, he wants to get the cravat.
Had to delete that one. But so just some bizarre
things. That's just now I have a hankering to go back into playing some of that. Maybe we
got to see if they fixed up the online portion a little bit. See if we can get some matches going. That was a little rough. I remember when we did that. But they just announced, or they had some photos of them working with Jushin Thunder Liger, so that means the junior DLC should be coming out soon.
Oh, cool.
And then their promoter DLC should be.
It's funny you say that too, because there's like a created character as well that looks perfectly like Liger.
It looks just like him.
But so, why not release their own? And
so who knows what
stuff.
roster updates we're gonna get with that? So cool. More content should be coming.
Well, okay. I think that about pretty much wraps up this edition of the podcast.
Sure does.
We want to thank you again for watching or listening. I have like a hair in my nose. It's bothering the living hell out of me.
Yeah,
God.
It's all on video. All on video.
But we appreciate it, and please go to gamesandgimmicks.com. Check out all our content. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, YouTube, Google Play, Instagram. I'm saying all these things out of order. Facebook, Twitter.
There's an order?
Vero. Well, they get usually podcast first, and then social media last.
So many rules.
It's all good. But gamesandgimmicks.com. We appreciate you following and subscribing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you.